Warships are moving, oil prices are exploding. Iran is threatening to seal the Strait of Hormuz. And the United States is one missile strike away from the largest military confrontation since World War II. Every eye on Earth is fixed on Washington, Tehran, and Beijing. Nobody is looking at Doha, but they should be. Because the country that might actually stop World War III isn't a superpower. It's a flat, sandy peninsula smaller than the state of Connecticut. And it's the only nation on Earth that both sides actually trust. Here's the scenario that's keeping intelligence analysts awake. A U.S. naval blockade chokes Iranian ports. Iran retaliates by threatening to close the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow choke point carrying 20% of the world's oil. Then it gets worse. The Revolutionary Guard starts attacking commercial ships. Iranian missiles are reportedly aimed toward Al-Udeid Air Base, the largest American military installation in the entire Middle East, located in Qatar. A direct strike on a U.S. base triggers a mandatory military response. A closed Strait of Hormuz sends the global economy into freefall. Every major power has skin in this fight. Every diplomatic channel is on fire. And the world needs one neutral country. One trusted broker that can physically get both sides into the same room. There is only one candidate: Qatar, a country most people couldn't find on a map without squinting. Here's why it's the only nation positioned for this moment. Qatar hosts Al-Udeid, America's most critical Middle East military base, with nearly 10,000 U.S. troops. And simultaneously, Qatar shares the world's single largest natural gas field, the North Dome, with Iran, its neighbor directly across the Gulf. It is physically and economically intertwined with both sides of a potential war. That's not a vulnerability, that's the entire strategy. Qatar cannot afford for America and Iran to go to war. Its survival depends on both of them staying at the table. So for decades, it built something no superpower bothered to build: a reputation for talking to everyone, taking no permanent sides, and keeping its word to both enemies at once. This isn't theory. Qatar already has the receipts. When the U.S. needed a backchannel to the Taliban, it happened in Doha. When Iran and America needed to exchange prisoners and unfreeze $6 billion in assets in 2023, one of the most sensitive diplomatic transactions in decades, Qatar brokered it quietly, without fanfare. And in 2017, when Saudi Arabia led a blockade cutting Qatar off from its neighbors, accusing it of being too close to Iran, it was Iran that kept Qatar fed. That experience didn't weaken Qatar's independence streak, it hardened it. Qatar learned that being everyone's friend in a world of enemies isn't naivety, it's power. The kind of power that doesn't show up on a military budget, but shows up when the phone rings at 3 a.m. and both sides need someone neutral to answer. Right now in this scenario, the demands on the table are enormous. The U.S. and its allies want Iran to dismantle its nuclear facilities and halt uranium enrichment entirely. Iran wants frozen assets unfrozen, security guarantees, and a permanent end to sanctions. A previous 45-day ceasefire proposal already collapsed. Iran wanted permanence. The West called it a stalling tactic. Qatar is the only party both sides will still talk through. Success means historic de-escalation, restored global oil supply, and the world steps back from the edge. Failure means the blockade holds, the strait closes, and a direct military conflict erupts on Qatar's own doorstep. The country that built its entire foreign policy on being indispensable to both sides suddenly finds itself caught in the crossfire of both sides. The most dangerous place to stand when a war starts directly between the two armies you spent decades befriending. We are living in an era obsessed with the biggest armies, the largest economies, the most nuclear warheads. But the country that might actually stop the next world war doesn't have any of those things. It has something rarer: the trust of its enemies. In geopolitics, size isn't the most dangerous weapon. Sometimes the most dangerous thing in the room is the one person both sides are still willing to listen to. Do you think Qatar's diplomacy can actually hold, or is this crisis already too far gone? Drop your take in the comments.